Okay.
I think it just went down.
No, you're good.
I'm good. Oh, you can see it? Good morning, Riley. Good morning, Mr. Henderson. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Point number 1 for everybody, vocab quiz Thursday. I will email this to you Wednesday night, Riley. On chapter 1 and 2, vocab lists. So that way we keep a running dialogue on our words and our definitions of our words. Now it's important that we get there. Oh, it's like it's way over my head.
No, it's good.
Okay, still good. It's important that you get the right definitions that coincide with the book. Some of you aren't taking the time. Get ready, guys. Get ready. Should have been ready prior to class. It's getting to be a nuisance. Okay, it's important that you have the right definitions and you're not taking the time, some of you, to make sure that the definition that you're writing down fits the context of the story. Just to pick on you, because you're so cute. Felicitatingly, or felicitously. And for those of the rest of you that wrote congratulations, doesn't make sense in the story at that point, right? There's no way he's congratulating somebody. And that's the only thing you got wrong. And I took off half a point if you put down that. I think 3 of you did that. So, yeah, felicitating is not congratulating. That's not what that means. Now, I understand why that could be, because it's kind of a warm greeting. It's kind of, it's like easy peasy, smoothie movie, whatever you want to call it. We wish you the best. So in one sense, that's congratulatory. I wish you the best. Got it? So dig deeper. Go to Merriam-Webster. It's an important place to go. Oh, you've got a little table there to work on too, don't you? You know, we should just set this up as like a dining room, so that when you come in, you feel even more comfortable. We could put out plates and. Do you need some silverware? No. You got enough? Are you good? Mm-hmm. Do you have enough to share? No. Oh. That's too bad for the rest of us. You know, I have power to take a tax. This is my room.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tax you. You look like you need the nourishment.
Because those Cheetos are just dripping with nourishment.
It's full of probably high in vitamins, minerals, omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so
I died 40.
to Merriam-Webster is going to be your best, by far, your best place to look for words. And then also you have to note, this is the third thing, is it a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb? Because all of those have a subtly nuanced different meaning. Nuanced meaning that it is changed in a very subtle way. That's a nuance. So anything that's subtly nuanced, that's kind of redundant, is important to pick up on. So if I give you a word, this is your book. If we mark a word, underline it, then go back to it. Read it in context and read your definition and say, does that make sense? Just ask you that simple question. Does that make sense? Okay? Now you've got my list, and Riley got it last night, so we're all good to go. I am starting a list on chapter 3. So far I have extricated, haversack or knapsack, impetus, and I hope all this gives you impetus to work. Perambulating, trifle, covertly, reconnoitering, placidly, ominous, harangue, insolent, declamation, skulking, and viands or viands. I don't even know what that word is.
I also have the reconnoitering.
Greek what?
Reconnoitering, how you did that.
Reconnoitering,
He said it before,
placidly.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, you ready to go? We are on page 28. Sorry, Riley, you didn't get yesterday's class time. You didn't miss anything. Trust me, it was a snoozer. But everyone except Clay was asleep, and he was eating. So it was an eating, sleeping mess. Correct? Does everybody agree? I'm assuming that the crunching noise means you're in agreement, that eating was what you would, he says yes. All right, any questions before we begin? Yes,
Do you want me to share?
Amber
a book?
Clausen is asking this question, by the way.
Do you
Yes,
want me
Amber.
to share a book with someone so Emily can have one?
Do you want me to share a book?
No,
Are you
I
talking
like
about
this.
Emily?
Just,
Could she just listen, she asked.
I was just offering my book, that's all.
Oh, you don't need one?
Well, I was thinking I'd sit with Raquel. And we'd
Oh,
share.
you were thinking that, were you?
I was suggesting it.
Suggesting, okay. Well, Clay's gonna share with her, which is safer.
Okay.
You two together just as a scary thought, just saying. Are we ready? Everybody on the right page?
28.
Yes. Let's finish this and then we will begin chapter 4. And we'll take turns, you guys can take turns reading, but I want to get through this. I'm in the middle of the page where it says, in the afternoon the regiment went over the same ground it had taken in the morning. The landscape then. Got that? Everybody there? Okay. The landscape ceased to threaten the youth. He had been close to it and become familiar with it. When, however, they began to pass into a new region, his old fears of stupidity and incompetence reassailed him. But this time, he doggedly let them babble. You know what doggedly means?
Like you have waited.
Well, there's another word. Doggedly. It's a doggone shame we don't know what doggedly means. What does babble mean?
Talk, like kind of,
Huh?
Like to ramble.
yeah.
Yes, very good. Okay, so rambling, babbling. He was occupied with this problem, and in his desperation, he concluded that the stupidity did not greatly matter, but incompetence did. Get that? So he's ruled out that stupidity doesn't matter, but incompetence does. If you're not competent at your task, then you're dead. Once he thought he had concluded that it would be better to get killed directly and end his troubles. Regarding death thus, out of the corner of his eye, he conceived it to be nothing but rest, and he was filled with a momentary astonishment that he should have made an extraordinary commotion over the mere matter of getting killed. He would die. He would go to some place where he would be understood. It was useless to expect appreciation of his profound and fine senses from such men as the lieutenant. He must look to the grave for comprehension. So the lieutenant's a mere brute. He doesn't understand men of sensitive mind. And now he comes to the conclusion, well, what was all the fuss about dying anyway? At least there, I'll be understood. And that's basically the answer to the question that I had on the worksheet. He looks to the grave for comprehension because in comprehension, both life and death are in death, the comprehension of both life and death are understood to their fullest point. One, experientially. You understand what I mean by that?
What we experienced one within the process of experiencing another.
Very good. Very good. Because at death, life is understood at that moment, and death is now experienced, is in the process of being experienced. Exactly. Very good. Why didn't you put that on the test, on your worksheet? You did put a great answer on there, as I recall. The skirmish fire increased to a long, clattering sound. With it was mingled faraway cheering. A battery spoke. I love the way he phrases this whole thing. A battery spoke. What's a battery? And I know it's something we use to start our car with. But what is this all about? The battery spoke. What's a battery, guys?
Like artillery going on.
Yeah. Did you know that, ladies? Okay. It's the artillery. Like in this day and age, it would have been cannons. So if there were 3 or 4 cannons lined up together, that's called a battery. One cannon is called a cannon. But several cannons is a battery. And they spoke. One word that was used repeatedly and very, I think, profoundly, is the word report. It's interesting that the language used, we call it nomenclature. Nomenclature is the language used for a specific area of interest. For instance, the nomenclature in medicine, you have to know A and B, anatomy and physiology. You have to know medications. So, and then that's a separate field. The nomenclature in pharmacology, the nomenclature in travel, the nomenclature in being, what is it any of you do that's distinct? Somebody. So, okay, Amber. The words that you use at row N sometimes have special meaning, correct?
Yes.
So you have a separate nomenclature, a separate language group that's used there. They do this, okay, so I know this because I worked in a restaurant once when I was going to graduate school, that you can, okay, so a 4-top, I have a 4-top, or I have a 6-top, or I have an 8-top. What does that mean if you're a wait person? That's how many people are seated at your table. And so somebody comes up to you and you're a wait staff, you're part of the wait staff, all right? It says, we've got a table of 2 over there, can you pick them up? And you go, no, I've got a 6-top and an 8-top and a 4-top waiting. I don't have time. And he'll go, oh, I get it, that's, 14 people. No, that's 18 people. Got it? So he goes, okay, so your limit, there's a limit. And they understand that, so she'll go or he'll go find somebody else. So that's the language group. So the nomenclature of war. Yes?
You're in trouble.
Hello?
You go to channel 2. 1, 3, 2, 1, 2.
I finally made it. Are you there?
I have an important question for you.
Do you want to do it on the, whatever this is?
Yes. Did you make more coffee?
Oh, you're funny.
Is that a yes?
Oh. Hold on.
You broke it.
Somebody did. Wow. This thing is so full. Yeah, there's more coffee, but I don't know how warm it is.
So it's not new?
Why is it coming in and out?
What?
This is straight.
It's hot.
Thank you. Is it in your room?
No.
No, it's in the bathroom.
I don't like bathroom coffee.
I know, it stinks, right?
Yes.
Come and get it. It was full, way over full. Butter like 3.
3.
Oh, somebody talked to Riley.
Hey Riley, how you doing?
The less creepy, the better. He
I just
enjoys
wanna
it.
put
Okay, where was I?
There you go.
What were we talking about? Oh, okay, so the idea of a report is significant because, and it's going to come up even more clearly here in a moment, but it's interesting that in battle, it seems like the weapons are talking to each other. They're reporting. And one of them says, for instance, you know, like your friends have, you know somebody's voice by, they call and say, hey, it's me. And you go, yeah, okay. I know who this is. And you don't even have to have them in your book, in your contacts. You know who, by their voice, all right? So you know people by how they sound. Well, the same is true of weaponry. You can be out and you can go, wow, those sound like howitzers coming. Or, ooh, here comes a mortar. Is it? And you can even begin to identify the sound or the size of the mortar. Is it an 88 or a 44? What is it? You can tell by the noise that's made. You can identify the weaponry of the enemy. For instance, for me, an NVA they carried the AK, the Kalashnikov rifle, probably one of the best assault rifles that's ever been created. And it had a distinct crack sound when it went off. It was a distinct sound. The M16 had a weird sound, very different sound. And my M60 machine gun had a different sound. So this idea of report, or the talk, or the language of weaponry is a fascinating concept, and he uses it quite extensively in this next little section, so let's catch up on that. Directly, the youth could see the skirmishers running. They were pursued by the sound of musketry fire. After a time, the hot, dangerous flashes of the rifles were visible. Smoke clouds went slowly and insolently across the fields like observant phantoms. The din became crescendo, like the roar of an oncoming train. Crescendo, we know that, right? What's a crescendo? Right?
Times 2. become louder.
Okay.
Slow progress.
For the just rising up to the noise is getting louder, rising up to a
Crescendo. Isn't crescendo the very top or the very peak of the sound? Let's check. Shall we? C-R-E-S-C-E-N-D-O. Crescendo, obviously a Latin word, or it wouldn't be, the C wouldn't be an H-C-H sound. A brigade ahead of them and on the right went into action with a rending roar. It was as if it had exploded, and thereafter it lay stretched in the distance behind a long gray wall that one was obliged to look twice at to make sure that it was smoke. There was so much fire going on that there was a wall of smoke from rifles. The youth, forgetting his neat plan of getting killed, gazed spellbound. It's a nice relief. His eyes grew wide and busy with the action of the scene. His mouth was a little ways open. Of a sudden, he felt a heavy and sad hand laid upon his shoulder. Awakening from his trance of observation, he turned and beheld the loud soldier. "It's my first and last battle, old boy," said the latter with intense gloom. He was quite pale, and his girlish lip was trembling. Girlish lip? How does a guy have a girlish lip? What is that? What's a girlish lip?